Hello, Marco. How are you?
Brian, how are you, brother?
Oh, mate, it's so good to speak to you. Thanks very much for your time.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, man. It's good to know that the world is opening up now. It's a great feeling, you know.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I'm happy. I'm happy to be anywhere, anytime, anyhow.
Indeed, I'm so with you on that one. Look, while we're talking about that, I will ask you about the effects of COVID. It must have been the first time that you'd stopped in so long and not travelled the world. Would that be right?
Absolutely. I mean, we had a little bit of a something along those lines back in '08, '09 when the economy hit the fan, and it was a freaky time, but it didn't last as long, and everybody recovered within a year. But we had, I was really busy, and I was scheduled to do a lot of big tours, and everything came to a screeching halt. And it's life in the entertainment world. It's If you're smart about it earlier in your career, you understand the roller coaster and you prepare for times like that. Having said so, that now that I'm 85 years old and have been through a few crises, you prepare. Raising a family and having all the financial responsibilities and all that. You kind of, you tuck away some things. You invest. You do this, do whatever. You prepare for the lean times, and it's par for the course. So in that regards, we were just okay. I'm very lucky. My wife, she stopped working for 2 weeks, if I remember, and then she went back to work from home. My kids went back to school online, and so for them, it was not that big of a change, But for me, yeah, brother, it was quite an event, to say the least.
Oh,
But we're coming out
yeah.
of it now, and it's time to be hopeful and be positive and as optimistic as possible. And I know there's talks about this Delta strain coming around and all that, but I don't think it's going to hit us like it did before. I think we're prepared now, and I think we have most of our population here in California where the vaccine's getting around. So we hope for the best. I'm the ultimate optimist, Rowan. I have to be.
Indeed. And look
How are
for
you? How's Melbourne? I hear stories about Australia. Yes.
We're back in lockdown. It's just nuts. We've only had a week and a bit out of lockdown, and we're back in it again. This Delta strain is just ripping through, but we haven't got the vaccination numbers that you have, so that's what's really
Yes.
holding us back is getting vaccinated. But
And why
yeah.
is that?
I think it's, well, ask the politicians, my friend. It's supply. It's
Politics.
we can't get the vaccine. You'd name it, any bloody excuse. I'm vaccinated.
Yes.
Look, I'm ready to rock and roll. So I feel like
I was
coming out
going
to
to
the
say the
US.
reason why you haven't gotten the vaccines is because there ain't no rock and roll going on, brother man.
That's it, exactly the point. Unlike your good self, I mean, it's so awesome to see you and Dean Castronovo playing together again as the rhythmic powerhouse with Neil Schon and Journey. Just sensational. How has that been?
Oh, insane! It's been, to say the least, it's been a great ride. Not to throw any puns out there. It's a great journey. It's a great trip. Uh, Totally unexpected. The story goes like this: when there was a lot of changes going on. I won't get into details, but
Sure.
um, I believe it came from upstairs, management-wise, to get Randy and Narda uh, in the rhythm section because of who they are, the producers. They're just established musicians and extremely talented folks, production wise, I mean, their credits is just outstanding. And they're great people.
Mm.
And they had a relationship. Randy had been part of Raised on Radio album, which had quite a few hits, and so there was a history, and it made sense. And I was talking to Neil at the time about this, and he said, "I think we're gonna check this out, bro." And having said that, Dean and I had done the Journey Through Time thing with Greg Raleigh as well. And I think that one did so well. I think it stayed in the back of Neil's mind, Jonathan was not part of that, but I think he heard it. And so when the opportunity came for them to get together, they started booking dates. And something went down with Randy, unfortunately, So prior commitments, medical reasons, I don't know.
Sure.
I'm trying to stay out of the loop.
Yeah.
So it's not to get involved. But, I highly respect that cat, man. He's an accomplished musician, personality, producer. He's got it all. And I know people that know him. He's a sweetheart, He's a good cat. So prayers and good vibes are sent his way. I did a little video when I got together with Narda and Neil to him, just to say, hey, I'm keeping the chair warm for you when you get ready to come back,
Sure.
So I get the call. I was in Denmark, in Copenhagen, finishing. I was there with my buddy Soren Anderson.
Yes.
Finishing my new album that was supposed to be finished at the beginning of 20. Because I don't know if you're aware, Rowan, if you keep track, but my solo project, my solo career started getting some traction.
Yeah, sure.
Back in 19, because, and all I did, because that Daisies was going through some changes, I just started getting invited everywhere to play here, play everywhere. I made an attempt to make it to Australia, and for some reason it didn't happen. But I did a lot of shows back in 19, a ton of them. Everywhere. So I started getting, the reports were good, the reviews were good, the review on the album was excellent. So I started getting invited everywhere. And the beginning of 20 was supposed to be the release of the new album via Target, Mighty Music. And we had I want to say 12 to 15 festivals scheduled for that year, a ton of dates all over the planet. And then we know what happened. So that kind of stifled the whole thing. We're back to ground zero now, trying to figure out what the next move is. But anyway, so it took me from February of 20 to July of 21 to get to Copenhagen, to be able to jump through every hoop. That's another story.
Yeah.
To get there, to get into the studio with Soren so we could finish, and we did. And I'm really, really happy with the results. There's some great songs. Soren is such a talented cat, and him and I have this synergy, man. We just click. We're like a couple of kids in a candy store. We work fast. There's a lot of creativity there, and mutual respect and trust, which is very important. So him and I get together, and we just write everything. Boom, 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 boom. We play the parts. Then we have the other cats, coming in and playing on the album. And so what I heard was amazing. There's some great songs. We're trying to get a date so that we can announce the release of that. I don't know at this point what's going to happen now. But I was finishing that, back to Copenhagen.
Sure.
I was finishing. And it was the last day of me being there for 6-7 days. And I got in a taxi from the studio to the hotel, and I get this call from Neil saying, Marco, where are you, man? What's going on? I said, I'm in Copenhagen. And he says, oh, no. I said, how long are you going to be there? Well, I get home tomorrow. I'm flying in the morning. Oh, good. Please call me as soon as you get home. We need to talk some biz. And I knew right away, instinctively in my gut, something was up. So I get home, I call him the next evening, and he tells me, we have some dates. Right now, we have a few dates that are coming up, and one of them happens to be Lollapalooza, the other one is the Aragon, both in Chicago, and we need to move forward. And you're the cat, you're the guy. So are you interested? I said, absolutely. But before that, let me explain what happened. I don't know if you're keeping track of who it is, but we had a bunch of dates scheduled for my solo thing in the UK and Europe.
Yes.
And while I was in Copenhagen, Prime Minister Boris extended the lockdown in the UK. which meant 12, 15 of my dates were not going to happen for another 5 to 6 weeks. And to try and reschedule everything was a nightmare. So I just said, let's just pull the plug on it. So it was a little sad and disappointing again. And in my head, I'm going, when is this going to end? When can we go back to doing shows and traveling and touring and releasing music that makes sense, you know? And so I get home with that in the back of my mind. I go, well, there you go. I'm going to be home again. Let's try to reschedule. And everybody was talking about rescheduling in 22, which meant, you know, this is June, July, August, September, October, November, December. This is 8-10 months later. And I'm like, I'm going to go crazy. I think I'm going to open a flower shop so I can sell flowers. I love flowers.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it came in, and as I'm pulling the plug and letting the dates go in Europe, Neil calls. It's like, it's the perfect example of how, you know, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. God closes some doors so other ones can open. Because had I kept my commitment and the dates were happening in Europe and the UK, I wouldn't have been able to do, obviously, the journey thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it's been one of those roller coaster rides, and I'm glad it worked out the way it did. Right now, we're rescheduling dates for the UK and Europe, and I was on the phone here for 3 or 4 hours last night, very late, and this morning. And it looks like it's going to happen October, November. I'll be doing some dates to kind of make up for, you know, the ticket sales that we had before. Apparently, there was a lot of ticket sales. You can imagine that everybody's extremely hungry and thirsty for music, live music, right?
But particularly you, Marco. I mean, the UK absolutely loved your run on Viva La Rock, and people couldn't get enough of it. It was brilliant. So to have this tour cancelled would have been heartbreaking for a lot.
It was. And so the venues, 80% of them decided to let the fans know, the fans that bought tickets, to say, hey, we're trying to reschedule, but you can get refunds. And apparently most all of them decided to stay on and kept the tickets. So we're trying to make up for that, you know. Obviously, we're not going to be able to do all the venues because now that the door opened, all the dates are covered, you know. So it's a bit of a scramble, but, you know, I've done it before, and I have good people helping me put it together. So a little bit of work, but we're going to do it. And basically, honestly, it's for the fans and the venues that you know, they need to get back in the groove, you know. They need to start making income and to survive. A lot of them went down, bro.
Oh, yes.
A lot of them had to close. I'm sure that's, you know, it's no different in Australia. Well, Melbourne is the cherry bar, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's just a ghost town at the moment.
Did it survive?
Yes, it did. It actually changed hands. So it's in a slightly different format, but it still exists.
Yeah. I love that place, man. Every time I hit Melbourne, I try to make it there that night just to touch base and say hello to the folks there. But it needs to be around, man.
Oh, we
so
can't
that
wait
when it opens up, I can't wait to come to Australia with my solo thing. But obviously, right now, it looks like my commitment's going to be the journey, you know. So they're making plans. We're talking. Of course, you know, out of respect to Randy, we need to straighten things out there and find out what's going to happen. But it's looking good. I'll tell you, if nothing else happens beyond this point with Journey, I had a blast. What an experience, you know. Lollapalooza, bro. Oh. It's like to come out of zero, you know, standing still to 1,000 miles a minute. It was like, woo, okay.
I can only imagine. Our friend Kana put the video up of the whole crowd singing "Don't Stop Believing." I thought, how Marco must feel up on the stage. How was that?
I was like it was like a rebirth of sorts, a reminder of, you know, when you're in a garage learning chords and learning how to play music and learning songs. It's a reminder. It goes back to that, which is why, you know, the way you used to be is a hymn reminding us of why we started this career, why we jumped on the music wagon. It's reminiscent of that. It reminds you of, okay, this is a reason why we do what we do. But I'll tell you this, Rowan. Not only were they singing, the biggest hits, they were singing some of the, if you want to call them B cuts. There's no B cuts with Journey. Everything's amazing, but they were singing everything. It was so awesome. It was a great experience, and it's documented. It was recorded, audio, video, and I was just glad to be part of that. I'm looking forward to more. We're doing New York coming up here soon, and I'm excited about that. That's going to be Central Park and Jones Beach, and then we do a few shows there and in the surrounding area coming up. So I'm pretty excited, bro, as you can imagine.
Absolutely, and of course you're playing.
Having said that,
sorry,
I do have to add. Excuse me, I do have to add on a side note. This is the reality of the time that we're living in. It is the music business, the entertainment business, and we are still dealing with the pandemic. So anything could happen. Hopefully not. Like I said, I'm the ultimate optimist, and we are so looking forward to doing those shows. But there's always a little 5% of reservation in the back of my mind that for whatever the reason, if the numbers start climbing, that they pull the plug. So you prepare for that. You hope for the best, but you prepare for the worst as well. That's the mentality that I've learned to be in. Sorry for interrupting, man.
No, not at all. From your mouth to God's ears, hopefully it all goes ahead. But you're looking forward to Monster Fest as well in November with your solo tracks, which will be brilliant. Are you going to unveil some of the tracks off the new album?
I'm sorry?
Are you going to unveil some of the tracks from the new album and play them live?
Well, that's what I'm trying to... Right now, to be honest, we are mixing the album. Soren is... on speed dial
over at Medley Studios
and master it so that it can be ready for release. It's the label was very adamant about not releasing the album this year, and I understand totally.
Yes, yeah.
Because you need to support it, be able to tour behind it. So what I'm hoping for, and we're in talks right now, and we're probably going to announce it in the next couple of weeks, when we release the dates for the UK and Europe, to release a single, at least one. 2 would be great, but 1 I'll be happy with, just to create a buzz and let people know the direction of the album, which is reminiscent of Viva La Rock, man. It's really, without sounding pretentious, there's some great songs. It's a great vibe. Like I said, Soren learns, we have this chemistry and we capture. We go in there, we don't think it a lot. We go, it's pure instinct. We hear something we like and we move forward. We don't, clean it up. We try to keep it as live as possible. We actually have a drummer in the room, and we're tracking the rhythm tracks, and we play the songs, record, and then we do all the other stuff. But that's the idea, to capture the magic,
Oh, magic is right. The last album, Viva La Rock at Medley Studios, that was magic. And to work on a track like Leah, even the pandemic had me thinking of that song, because you've got the celebration of rock and roll all through the album, and then there's this moment of pause where you're recognizing what you leave behind at home. It's such a beautiful ballad. Have you worked on something similar, a track like that, just a moment of refrain on this new album?
We actually, I have to say, we have a ballad in there, and I'll keep it as a surprise.
Okay.
That is as strong, if not stronger. It's a heartfelt thing. And when Soren heard it, he says, this is amazing. So, we're going to keep it up tempo and rock out a little bit. But for me, there's a side of me that likes to be a little more intimate and personal, so that it's, so that it's sincere. It comes from the heart. So we have this ballad that, in my opinion, I'm just getting chills just thinking about it. It's a trip.
Me too.
That it's going to be identified. People can identify with the emotions behind the song, because come from the same place. We go through the same experiences, heartbreak and wanting and failures in relationships, and then the other side, the positive side, when you're successful. I'm going to be celebrating 20 years this year. Me and my wife, 20 years of marriage, and it's unbelievable. It was the best thing that I could have done, no doubt, man. So Leah was, me kind of expressing how much I was missing her and being home with my kids. And 18 when the song was written, we were pounding the pavement with the Daisies. Hello?
Yes, I'm still here, Marco. I'm not sure
if you remember, it was nonstop, 18. So we got into the studio, and we really, I was really feeling homesick, and that's where it came up. It's funny, man. The song, I don't know if I told you the story, Rowan, about Leah.
Oh, look, please tell it again. People would love to hear it, Marco.
Now that you they brought it up, it brought me back to that moment, because we had 11 days that we scheduled the studio. And so we had 11 days to finish, writing and doing the whole thing from bottom up. So pretty limited, but, we wanted to do it. We brought ideas. We both had been working on some ideas away from each other. And like I said, when we get together, it's magic, man. Honestly, I don't experience that with too many people. And with Soren, it's just happening. He's such a talented cat.
Yeah.
And he's sensitive to me, He knows where I live. We toured together. He was my first guitar player with my solo project.
Of course, yeah.
So we've been on the road. We know each other musically. And he's one of the most talented cats I know, to be honest. But so we were there. It was the 10th. It was at the end of 11 days. And it was like after midnight, we've been working all day. We're putting 8-10-hour days. And then we look at the blackboard. We keep track. We keep a list of the work that's been done, what needs to happen. And then we noticed we had ballad, and we hadn't done anything. It was ballad, and we looked at each other. Man, this is after a long day. I'm ready to go to the hotel. I have a flight at 9 a.m. to go to Germany to start my tour, and we looked at each other. Oh man, what happened to the ballad? Oh my gosh, la la la. So we're scrambling. He says, Marco, I have this chord progression, and I think you'll dig. And I know where you live, I go on the bluesy side when it comes to ballads and all that. And and he started playing it, and I'm telling you, again, I'm getting chills. Within 10 minutes, 50 minutes, we had the ballad. It was me just getting in touch with my inner self and just screaming and yelling, I miss being home. I miss my wife. I miss my kids. I want to go home. I'm sure, there's been a lot of songs written about that. And that's true. When you get on the road, the first couple of months are a party. It's a honeymoon, and it's a blast. But then it gets tedious, and it gets monotonous, and it gets lonely, and knowing that you have a family, you have a nest that you want to get back to.
Yeah.
So he even had to stop a few times because I started tearing up.
Of course.
Honestly, it was just the kid inside me just came out, and I think that's what makes it so special, because you can hear those emotions. The lyrics are nothing extraordinary. It's just very simple, to the point. I want to come home. Please bring me home now. Let's start our love affair that we had a few years back. Let's start over again. So that's the other thing that happens in married couples. You start raising a family, and you lose yourself in them, So, that's what it was. And we have a ballad like that along those lines in this up-and-coming album. And I can't wait to release it, man. I'm excited.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. You give me goosebumps too.
Yeah, and then I get to hang with one of the ultimate writing machine, Journey, that writes the biggest songs and ballads ever written. It's just amazing, bro. Musically, I'm in heaven.
Oh, I can only imagine taking the message around to crowds in the US, don't stop believing. I mean, what could be more apt at this time in history?
Exactly. The timing was perfect. And so, there's talks of I know for a fact there's going to be a new album.
Wow.
Coming out next year. And so it should be a big year.
Will be.
A couple of years for Journey, bigger than ever. And we'll see what happens. And I think everything will be announced or, made official here soon. I don't know when or where, but like I said, bro, just to be part of that experience was insane, man. And get this, man.
Yeah.
The band's been around for how long, right?
Yeah. I think Lollapalooza, the difference between the youngest band and Journey, I think was 20 years difference.
Yeah. And the reality is, looking from where I was standing, and I was right up front, I would say the first 20, 30 rows were nothing but, people, young adults and teenagers singing the lyrics. It was like stupid. It was like, wow. There's no substance on the planet. There's no drug. There's nothing that exists on this planet and this realm that we all live in that could give you that buzz, that high. Which reminds me, September 20th, if I make it a day at a time, I will be celebrating 35 years of sobriety, bro.
Oh, whoa, congratulations. That's brilliant. 35 years, my God.
35, and of course I was 8 when I got sober, right?
Absolutely, you did well at the ripe old age of 8.
What a lot of crap.
Magnificent. But, such an achievement. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. And, the glory to God, man. That's the bottom line. All I did is I put one foot in front of the other, and I just didn't take anything that was mind-altering in any way. And here I am, having a pretty cool life.
Absolutely,
least,
yeah. I mean, it must be cool something to turn around and see Dean Castronovo as you're up on stage there with Journey as well. There must be a certain feeling between the two of you that's just unique after so much sobriety.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he's one of those cats, and I tell him every chance I get, and it's not for any other reason than just being about the cats. I know he's one of those cats that falls in that category because he oozes talent. He sings like amazing. He's a great singer, songwriter. As a drummer, no doubt, he's one of the best out there. So when you get time together as a rhythm section, as a bass player, I've been very lucky. I played with some of the best drummers on the planet,
Indeed, yeah.
I can honestly say that. And I don't mean it in a pretentious way. I'm just saying that's the reality, and I've been very lucky. For a bass player like me, that's what you aspire to. You aspire to surround yourself with the best cats. So as a rhythm section, him and I lock in. We put a lot of time with the Daisies. We put a lot of time with Journey Through Time. We did a few albums with Neil, Soul Circus and So You. So when you do that much work together, you get to know each other pretty well. And he's got a huge heart. He's such a great human being, man. He's a good cat,
Absolutely.
He deserves everything positive and everything good in life. He needs to welcome, and it's going to happen. It's happening now to him. So, yeah, brother, we're having a blast. We're very happy.
Oh, Marco, it's just such a thrill to catch up with you again, and so exciting to speak to you. I cannot thank you enough for your time today. But just before we go, while we're reminiscing, I'm not sure if you remember, but back, it would have been about 2018, you had a little chat to my oldest son, Kynan. And Kynan, I don't know what you said to him, but he's out there now taking on the world. He's picked up his bass. He's just finished his first music video with a wonderful artist called Cassidy Paris in a track called Wannabe. I'm going to send you that.
Yeah, I like it.
So whatever you said to him at work, my friend, he's out there doing it. Thank you. Such an inspiration.
How old is he?
He's 20 now.
Perfect. He's playing. He's touring.
He's out there playing and learning.
Yet?
Sorry?
Are there any shows in Australia, live shows yet?
Look, the odd live show in local venues, that's about it for the moment. And people are trying to get out there and touring. It just the lockdowns keep knocking us aside. So out of all of Australia, about half of us are in lockdown at the moment. So touring just comes to a screeching halt, as you know. It's so difficult.
Yeah. It'll get better. All I can say, man, is, keep your hopes up. Get the vaccine when it becomes available, because in my opinion, and this is just me, my humble opinion, that's what's going to speed up everything opening up,
I agree.
And there's theories about this and that and all, but don't listen to it. Do some homework, man. The internet is there for a reason. All the information, any questions, go in there, find out what really is going on. Around the globe, and get your information so that when you hear theories about this and that, and it's insane.
It is, isn't it?
Human nature, it's a trip. You leave it to the imagination, is boundless. It's just ad infinitum. You just go and go.
Absolutely. But such brilliant advice.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's what's going to keep the world from opening up completely, So, in my family, I had people that had reservations about the vaccine, and they finally saw the light, and so, yeah, getting vaccinated, because we realized in order to travel and get the world back in order, working order, that's necessary.
Indeed, yeah. I've got to play this interview to our Prime Minister. So he says, look, there's a chance we could get Marco Mendoza back into Australia. Let's do it. Let's get vaccinated.
Please. I would love to come. If any of your listeners have any, any ideas, I've tried in my own way, through my own connections, to get there. And I saw that John Karabi was there. And he told me it was pretty easy. I just, I've been busy, but I would like at some point, maybe next year, come out there and do some dates, some solo dates if people are interested. I don't know if they know my music, and I know that's a big if. Back in the day, I used to release an album, singles, and the radio, through the right connections and management and agents. They used to play the songs to kind of prepare you for what was coming. Now it's all social media, but there's so much out there, man. So
there is. Yeah.
To build an audience based on your own original music is hard these days. But I got to do it, man. I'm lucky enough that I played with some of the bigger bands, and I kind of sprinkle some of those songs in the set, and people walk away, they're really happy. But
especially with some Thin Lizzy.
I would, yeah. I would love for people to hear my stuff. So if you have any opportunity to spread the word, I really appreciate it. And your fans, your listeners out there, just spread it around, and that's going to make it easier for me to get down there, but hopefully soon, right?
Oh, look, I think the perfect thing, if we could do it ourselves, we would do it. I think John Karabi, your good self doing your solo stuff, touring with John Stevens, the original singer of the Dead Daisies. I reckon that'd be a big night.
That would be killer, man.
It'd be awesome. We'll work on
it. I spoke with John briefly, and we were talking, and then he got busy. I got busy in the pandemic and all that. And then during the pandemic, we tried to touch base, and he's just an elusive cat. He's busy. He's got his own life, career, and all that. But imagine that. That would be awesome.
That would be big.
Playing some of that stuff, and, bringing Richard and or Dizzy on board, and maybe, Frank.
Yeah.
Did the first run. Frank was, they're out there busy with Guns N' Roses. Good luck, man, to get those cats.
Absolutely. Yep, we'll do what we can. But Marco, thank you so much for your time. It's been brilliant to catch up, my friend.
Thank you, bro. And please, tell your listeners to go to marcomendoza.com, sign up. There's a few festivals in the UK, Planet Rockstock, that's going to be in November, and then Monster Fest. And there's a few things coming down the pike for France and Spain. So there'll be some dates coming up, October, November, if everything stays open. keep your fingers crossed, and we'll see you out there, man.
Absolutely.
And let's try to open the doors for Australia. Yeah.
And, my friend, I won't stop until there's Viva La Rock and the new album in every house in the world. So you keep going, my friend.
Thank you,
we'll keep pushing it. We love your work, my friend. Thank you again for your time.
Mate. Good on you, mate.
Beautiful.
That's a good try. I don't know how good it is, but it was a good try.
It was very good indeed. So, Marco, are you pretty happy with that recording?
With, I'm sorry?
The conversation and how it went, just recording that and playing that is...
we're off now. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm still recording, but I'll end the interview formally back where we were.
Yes, absolutely. When is it? Send me a link so I can spread it around.
Oh, will do, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Straight away.
I'll put it on my website and try to start working on the fan base there in Australia. It's important, to have interest.
Absolutely.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know how much play Viva La Rock got. I think the move needs to be for me to find distribution there.
I think that's right. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I honestly think Silverback Touring that brought John Karabi out here. I think JC had a good run with them, and if we could make something.
Who was that? Who was that?
It's called Silverback Touring.
That's right. Do you know them?
Yeah, I know Danny. Yep, absolutely. So I think that's the best shot.
If you could connect us both, that would be cool.
Absolutely. I'll do my very best to do that, Marco. I think it would be such a great run. And, again, John Stevens on board as well would have that local interaction and Australian audiences then listening to you, and you will blow them away.
It would be fun, man. I'd love to. I mean, John is one of those freaking amazing singers of all time,
Yeah, indeed.
He is a trip, man. And I was sorry to hear when, for whatever the reason, he couldn't leave the country or whatever, and then we had to go somewhere else. But John came and killed it too. So it is what it is, man. The music business. But I would love to at some point reconnect with John Stevens and do some dates down there. Maybe we can try. But if you can, Silverback. That's right. If you can introduce me. We can take it from there. Maybe make it happen.
Absolutely. Awesome. Oh, it'd be so good, wouldn't it? Indeed. I'll do that.
Send me a link, Rowan.
Yes, I will. I'll do that straight away, okay. Marco. Terrific. Thanks again, my friend.
Good on you, mate. And does that sound better?
That was very good. I thought the one earlier was really good too.
Okay. Totally unexpected, right?
Indeed. Oh, mate, it's so great to catch up. Please take care. Respect and love to your family.
Yes. And same to you, brother. Let's touch base in a few months and give a progress report.
Will do. Fantastic.
Anytime, Rowan.
Thanks, mate. Take care.
All right, brother. Bye.
Bye-bye.